Yes, it was called Slem, a Swedish band. Yeah, there was some sort of Christmas show or something like that. I can't have been very old either. I might have been like 14 or something like that. Oh, well, I think it has to catch the eye, in a way. Of course, I very rarely buy stuff where I don't know the band, in a way. But I don't think I ever bought a record just based on how it looks. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anybody does it even anymore. Like, I think it's more like the whole package, in a way. But of course, I don't really know.
Okay.
In this case, we had some tits on there. Maybe that's what we did. But I actually don't know really. I think it has to be striking sort of image. It can't be too messy. It can't be too unclear. And of course, having some sort of human element is helpful, I think. But other than that, I don't know. Bright colors, human element, tits. I don't know. Like, it could be.
Okay.
Planets. I don't know. Planets, I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's like. I think perhaps it's a little bit darker album, in a way, musically. But I think it came about this way that we told this graphic artist, the album's going to be called Nemesis. Obviously, once we decided the title, I think the songs actually became more darker lyrically and stuff too, because we very often write the lyrics after the music. But I think he just came up with this on his own. Like, let's make this one a little bit redder. So you have to hire people that you like and trust, and then they provide good ideas, and then you just go like, fuck, great, tits, red tits, that's even better. Like, I think probably just pictures, band pictures or musician pictures, if I had to make it myself, like to somehow a little bit document how the album was made or the people who made it. But of course, I'm not a graphic artist, and I think all the attempts that I have made in making album designs have been actually terrible. So it's not a good person to ask. But I think, usually what you try to do is, you provide the best quality sort of graphic images, photographic images or graphic images, and I think we are clever enough to sort of outsource this and not try to control it too much. We just have people around that we trust. I would say if I like the CD enough, then I would of course look also in the booklet. Favorite songs? Smoke on the Water is a good song. Titties and Beer, Frank Zappa song. It's a very good song. I don't know, lots of. I would say that it should be firmly somehow in the 17th century harmonically, and then have melody which is not moving in too many irregular, strange steps. But apart from that, it's difficult to say. I think there's two factors at play there. I think if you're a one-hit wonder, it usually means that one song became so big that, to the industry, like if you sell like 4 million records on the first single or something like that, then they make the follow-up record, they only sell 1 million. So of course record companies thinking like, it's like 1/4 of what they used to sell, like, but of course it's still a fucking million, so I think it's more of a financial thing, like. But there's of course also that people think of them as a one-hit band, and then of course they ignore them after that, like. Well, it's inevitable, I think, for many reasons, and this is again like industry reasons. Of course they want to focus on one song to try to break through. It's like you know, if you have this, you can make this analogy. If you have like a dam and you want to make a hole in the dam, of course you don't try to push the whole dam at once. You make a small hole somewhere first to get the water through, and then of course the whole thing disappears by itself. So of course you try to focus the force into a small area, which is in this case would mean one song. But it's just more a question of a marketing perspective, you know, like, and the people at the label handle this, you know. Of course, they would push you to write one very strong song that they can use for a single, you know, like, so it's a normal thing. Like, and then that song will pull the other songs on the album through.
Okay.
Probably. I would say again, it's this comparison thing. Then people would say like, oh, but so-and-so used to sing in Europe or whatever it might be, you know, like, and now it's only going out as Joy Tempest. There's only 1,000 people here, where they had 60,000, you know, last month as Europe. But still, I mean, if he has 1,000 guys on a solo gig, that's a lot of people. No, it's of course difficult to make it to the same level as AC/DC, no matter if you're on the internet or not. But the problem with the internet, of course, there's no way to make money from it. So, of course, there's 1,000 different bands trying to make money, and then that means, of course, there's even less money for them. But, of course, I mean, there's not too many, really. I mean, of course, people should try what they should try. I think, of course, if you can't get any other funding, it's a valid way of doing it. Like, it's actually an interesting thing. In our case, of course, we have a label. We don't need it. But if you don't have label, of course. I don't know. I think you're famous because you have good music, and then you have good music because you're famous in a way. Like, you try to keep it rolling on. So I think, of course, anytime you charge money for playing something, then of course you're selling a little piece of your soul. But I don't see that as a bad thing at all. Like, because I think the more you sell, then the more music you can make. Vocalist, of course. Yes.
Why?
I think anybody who's a fan of a band, that's like sort of the voice of the band, who they identify the band with, you know, in a way. So I think that's definitely the biggest problem to lose. I think they are special. They have proven. I think when they lost this Tarja, I think a lot of people were wondering, like, how are they going to work this out? And then it turned out that it didn't matter. It was even better, you know. So now they lost this Annette as well. I don't know if you heard that she's pregnant. But yeah, she posted some pictures like, yeah, I guess you all thought I had eaten too much cake or something like that. There's actually another reason. And then there's this picture like, in 2 months, you know. I think Deep Purple for me is like still one of my favorite bands from the old days, you know, like. I think people are in general, music is just like one of those things which people sort of take for granted. I think actors and sports people, it's like bigger business. I don't know why, that's like a human thing. That's a good question. I think there should be Charlie Parker on saxophone, Alan Holdsworth on guitars. What's that?
From which band you came?
They're like solo
solo
artists. Well, Charlie Parker, which band did he come from? The Charlie Parker band. No, but seriously, I guess he was like known as a sax player. I don't even know for bass. Jaco Pastorius maybe. Tony Williams on drums. And Ronnie Dio on vocals.
Okay.
And Fredrik Torendal on guitar. Like, that's 6 people.
Cool.
That would be very interesting.